There's a lot of anxiety going around right now, in the millennial and Gen Z crowd. I have a lot of people reaching out to me that, for lack of better term, they feel like they're losers. Guys in their 20s and 30s, all the way across the board. I would say from 18 to 40. A lot of people out there, they just really feel like losers, particularly guys that are in their 30s because they haven't accomplished what their parents accomplished, right? Some of them went to college, some of them didn't, but financially they're not where they want to be. They haven't achieved what they want to achieve in life. And a lot of people, we just had New Year's Eve, so I hear a lot of people talking like, hopefully 2022 will be a better year. Well, if you're one of those people out there that's in your 20s or 30s and you feel like a loser, I've got bad news for you. It's about to get a lot worse. If you don't take action and figure out what's going on. In the year 2020 and 2021, the global economy went to shit and the money printer went brrrr. Brrrr. The money printer kept going burr, right? So now here we are in 2022. Gas prices are up. Grocery prices are up. In 2019, I used to spend $100 a week on groceries. Now I spend about $225 a week on groceries. It's just the cost of things have went up, right? So if you think this year is going to be better, you're not paying attention. But I want to help you get ahead. I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube that will teach you how to flip houses, how to drop ship, how to make $1 million a month. But the common person out there, those things don't even apply to you. If you're somebody that's struggling financially, flipping houses is not an option. Drop shipping is not an option. None of this stuff is an option. You have no money to invest in anything. So it's not an option. And the reason for that, in my opinion, just based on what I've seen, is the low impulse control of the millennial and the Gen Z. The impulse control is just not there. It's very, very low. And you've been trained to be that way. To start out, you open up your phone, whether you get on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, whatever you get on, Google, you're just being bombed with ads. Ads for your favorite shoes, your favorite clothes, all your favorite stuff, everything that you could ever possibly want. They're bombarding you with ads. And it's hard for somebody who has low impulse control just to overlook those ads. You go on your computer, there's more ads. You're driving down the highway, there's more ads. You turn on the TV, there's more ads. It's just ads all over the place. Feeding into your low impulse control. And you see, 30 years ago, that didn't really matter. Ads didn't make much of a difference to poor people. Because if you didn't have enough money to buy the stuff in the ads, you couldn't go broke. You couldn't go more broke. You couldn't go in debt. Because if you didn't have a lot of money, typically you don't have good enough credit for a credit card. So you just can't buy the nice things. But in this day and age, in the millennial and Gen Z era, you can have terrible credit. You can be so bad with money that you can't even afford a new pair of shoes. But you can go to Nike.com, find a $200 pair of Air Jordans or whatever the fuck. And thanks to, these third-party lenders like Afterpay, Sezzle, Klarna, all of these different third-party payment options, you're able to receive credit with no credit check. So you're able to go in debt for shoes that you can't afford when your credit score is too low to even get a credit card. So you're caught up in this web, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there that can relate to this. Like, I've been branching out and trying to talk about other things than just manosphere type shit, and there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with this sort of stuff. You got multiple debts for shit you don't even need. If you can't afford a new pair of shoes, shoes should be the last thing on your mind if you can't afford a pair of shoes. But guys, the trajectory of the economy, the way things are going, your earnings are going to go down, whether you're college educated, uneducated, whether you know trades, run your own business, work for a corporation, whatever it is. The ability to make money is getting squeezed tighter and tighter. And the cost of everything is going up, whether it's the housing market, whether it's literally groceries, consumer goods, your shoes, your purses, your watches, your fancy shit, automobiles. It's all going up. And the average earnings are going down. If you want to, quote unquote, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, if you want to get ahead as a millennial who just can't catch up, you're a loser. You can't get ahead. You have to adopt some sort of a minimalist lifestyle, regardless of how much money you make. You have to not only live within your means, you have to live well under that. You have to be able to save money. You can never invest money if you can't save it. And everybody says saving money, a savings account is useless. Look, if you can't even save money, you are never going to be able to invest money. You got to save at least tens of thousands before you can really start investing and making some sort of a big boy move. You're never going to excel beyond loserdom if you can't save at least $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You're never going to get started. But thanks to all of these stupid new inventions, now you're able to get in debt over shoes, over clothes. And then what's going to happen? What's going to happen if you're so poor at managing your money? Your credit is so bad that your only option is to use these Klarna, Afterpay, Sezzles, and PayPal does it now. Amazon sometimes even has the 5 monthly payments. And when they go to automatically deduct the money, because let's face it, if you can't afford a new pair of shoes, and then you have automatic payments coming out of your bank account, that's asking for trouble. It's asking for overdrafts, overdraft fees, more debt that you can't pay, that you can't afford. And what's going to happen? You're going to lose your bank account. Paper money is disappearing. And as far as cryptocurrency goes, I want it to be the real deal, but I've got a bad feeling about it. I think it's going to be good for a little while, but I think the government's going to get involved, the federal government, and once they start to federalize things, just kiss it goodbye. It's not going to be the same. But if you don't have some sort of a bank account, if you're not able to bank, you're going to be screwed. And, this consumer economy and this, all these new, payment plans they're coming out with, it's not good, and I know a lot of people out there, you feel like you're forgotten people. It's easy to watch these YouTubers that will teach you how to get a Ferrari and how to make millions of dollars doing whatever it is they do, but you guys know that's probably out of your reach, most of you. Most of you are struggling to buy a new pair of shoes. I mean, that's what the economy looks like today. If you're not, then great. You know, there's some people out there that are viewing this video. You're worth millions of dollars, maybe. That's great. But the average common man out there is not in that position. You know, a lot of you guys feel like losers, and that's why. You know, but you got to adopt some sort of minimalism. You got to live underneath your means. I mean, you got to work on that impulse control. If you don't, you're going to be screwed. You know, when I was younger, my impulse control was flat out terrible. You know, I made some bad financial mistakes. You know, I took up a bunch of credit cards that I shouldn't have. And in other areas as well. You know, a lot of people think, getting, like, sleeping with a lot of women is some sort of a skill. It's actually, in my opinion, it's just low impulse control. If you're a guy that, you take good care of yourself, you work out, everything is, everything about you looks like it's on point, you're going to have a lot of options with women. And if you're hooking up with a lot of women, you probably have low impulse control. And that carries over into other areas of your life, right? Like if you have low impulse control when it comes to hooking up and having sex, you probably have low impulse control when it comes to your spending your money, when it comes to drinking. Like I can tell you one thing, when I was in that phase, when I was out hooking up with a lot of chicks, I was, I had a drinking addiction. I was smoking weed all the time. My impulse control just wasn't there. Impulse control is basically discipline. I had no discipline. And eventually, like in my mid to late 20s, I started to get more disciplined. Things got a lot better for me. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are still struggling in that area. So, I just kind of wanted to make a video and let you guys know, like, it's not just you. It's most people. Like most people in your age group are in that same category. And they feel like they're losers. They feel like they've failed to live up to their parents' generation. They feel like they're never going to get there. But most of them don't see all the traps. You don't see the sex traps. You don't see the Klarna, the Sezzle, the Afterpay traps. You don't see all these minor, small little debt consumer traps. It's all right in front of your face. The drugs, all of it. And then they want to spend all their time just listening to their shitty music, watching their stupid ass, little TV shows that are make-believe. Watching their sports, pretending like they're their favorite quarterback, favorite basketball player. But you'll never be them. You're living in a fantasy land. Meanwhile, in your real life, it's just loserdom. It all comes down to that impulse control, that discipline. Do you have the ability to snap out of it? Hopefully this can be a wake-up call if you're one of those guys or girls, Happens to a lot of people. When I was in my early 20s, I dated a girl who was interviewed to be on the MTV show True Life. It was about a shopping addiction. She had accumulated $25,000 worth of debt at the age of 21. And it was all on like expensive name brand clothes, designer clothes, jewelry, just stupid crap. Stuff that was old to her after just a couple years and she would never wear again. But a lot of people, males and females, they're living that sort of life, man, and you're never going to get ahead living that life. You got to live within your means. You got to save up tens of thousands of dollars. You have to have a decent enough credit score to get a mortgage. You have to have some form of assets. You can't just have a bunch of liabilities stacking up, Anyways, guys, if that's you, I just want to let you know you're not alone and it's never too late to change it. I know I did. I know a lot of other people who have too, so good luck to you, and we'll be with you through the process. Anyways, that's about it for tonight, guys. Until next time, see ya.